Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Nidhi Singh, Research Scholar in Division of Forensic Science, Galgodias University. Today I am going to discuss with you collection and analysis of biological evidences, blood, semen, saliva, sweat, hair. Firstly, we will discuss about the collection of biological evidences. In this, we start with goals of biological evidence collection. Each individual stain should be collected separately. Do not collect or package two separate stains together in the same container. Do not allow evidence samples to come into contact with any other surface which contains residue from another biological sample. For the example, dirty tweezers, blood stained gloves, contaminated work surface. Use tweezers with smooth, easy to clean working surfaces. Tools, for example, tweezers, scissors can be cleaned by thoroughly rinsing with stream of distilled water and drying thoroughly with paper tissues. Repeat this process twice before using tool to manipulate another sample. Do not talk or cough over biological evidence. Small biological evidence like for the example 2 mm size blood stain or hair is most susceptible to contamination. Put on a new pair of gloves before handling these small stains. Consider wearing a mask. Package all biological evidence in paper bags or envelopes. Do not use plastics. Handle the sample in a manner which minimizes deterioration of the samples. When feasible, take object with stain. Do not remove stain. If stain can be easily dislodged, example, stain is on non-porous surface, protect it from contact with another object. One way this can be done is by immobilizing the evidence item in a cardboard container. If evidence stains are found on object that can be cut, for example, a rug, the evidence stain can be removed by cutting it out with a pair of clean scissors. Remember to also take an unstained control cutting. For example, the substrate without the stain from the object. If object cannot be moved, use a slightly dampened substrate, cotton swab or piece of plain cotton cloth or gauze to collect stain. Remember to collect an unstained control by swabbing an unstained area of the evidence object, as very few stains can be safely collected by the scraping them. The size of the stain should influence the size of substrate used to collect the stain. Thus, use a small part of swab or a small piece of cotton cloth or piece of gauze to collect a small stain. Do not smear a small stain over a large surface. Use a minimum amount of distilled water to dampen the swab or cloth or gauze substrate. To keep the stain concentrated, collect the stain on the smallest area of the swab or cotton cloth. Wet blood should be dried first and then scrubbed or can be collected on a swab. Blood stained material must be stored in paper bags or manila envelopes. Blood soaked clothing must not be stored in airtight containers because the trapped moisture may cause the growth of mildew and molds and destroy the blood. All clothing, in fact, must be air dried and individually stored in paper bags. If blood stained materials are stored in airtight container, the accumulation of moisture may encourage the growth of mold, which can destroy the evidential value of blood. For damp or bloody items, one should use A. Brown paper bags of appropriate size, B. Earth guard bags, C. Butcher paper that can folded and properly trapped shut sweat. Sweat is the watery fluid produced and excreted by sweat gland. Sweat gland are simple tubular gland, almost 2 to 4 million sweat glands found in almost every part of the skin. Sweat glands are stimulated in response to high temperature, exercise. Hormones. Emotional stress. Emotionally induced sweating is restricted to palms, soles, armpits and forehead, while temperature induced sweating causes sweating throughout the body. Composition of sweat. Sweat is composed mainly of water and 1.2 to 1% solutes such as sodium, potassium, lactate, urea, ammonia, etc. Mechanism of sweat secretion. When sweat glands are stimulated, the secretory portion of sweat glands secretes a fluid which is absorbed by the gland cells from the interstitial fluid and is produced and secreted into gland lumen by active secretory activity of epithelial cells lining the coiled portion of sweat gland. As the precursor flows through the duct portion, it is modified by reabsorption of sodium and chlorine. Function of sweat. First, thermoregulation. The principal function of sweating allows the body to rid itself of excessive heat production through the evaporation of water, which brings about cooling of the body. Second, sweat accounts for a large portion of water that remains on the skin, forming part of the hydrolipids film, which is indispensable protective covering, keeping the skin in good condition and allowing it to perform the many essential functions. Third point, it plays a minor exercise role. Some drugs and toxins are excreted in sweat. Now the hair. Hair should be stored in unbreakable plastic, pill bottle with pressure lid or in manila envelopes, screw cap, glass vials or cardboard pill boxes. Hair analysis can be forensic tool because human hair are routinely shed and can be discovered at a crime scene. Examination of hair found at the crime scene and compared with hair from a known source may be helpful to the extent that is reflect similarities. The extent of the similarities in those samples and the examiner's ability to discover and compare those similarities is the principal issues when hair analysis is offered in a criminal case. Microscopic hair analysis. Traditionally, forensic evidence comparing human hair was based on microscopic comparison of evidentiary samples with known samples from the defendant. To make a microscopic hair comparison, a control group of hair from a known source must be properly collected by pulling or by combing hair from a subject. That requires a total of 50 hairs from different areas of the scalp or a total of 25 hairs from a pubic region. The samples are then examined macroscopically for gross features comparison such as color, form and thickness. In the microscopic stage, hair are mounted on a slide using a mounting medium that has the same refractive index as that of the hair. The hair analyst attempts to identify the part of body from which the hair might have come based on certain areas characteristics. Features of hair are divided into two major and secondary characteristics, and they are major characteristics include color, treatment, pigment, aggregation, shaft form, pigment distribution, medulla appearance, hair diameter, medullary index, and the presence or absence of a root or shaft. Secondary characteristics, it includes cuticular margin, pigment density, pigment size, tip shape, and shaft diameter. The examiner then formulates an opinion as to exclusion or consistency. What is semen? Semen is the normal male can ejaculate 2.5 to 6 ml of seminal fluid. Each ml contains 100 million or more spermatozoa. Many of the cases sent to a forensic laboratory involves sexual offences, making it necessary to examine exhibits for the presence of seminal stains. Presumptive test, acid phosphatase test or Walker test or Brintamine spot test. The male prostate gland produces and secretes into semen a high amount of enzyme acid phosphatase AP. In the presence of alpha naphthyl acid phosphate and brintamine fast blue, AP will produce a dark purple color in less than a minute. Precautions, the shade of purple color will depend on activity of the enzyme, which can be negatively impacted by the age of the stain and the storage condition. This test is highly presumptive because vaginal secretion and other bodily fluid contains detectable levels of this enzyme as well. Alternative light sources. Under specialized light, semen will fluoresce due to the presence of molecules such as flavin and choline conjugated proteins. This color will vary from blue to yellow depending on light equipment used. Precaution, this detection technique is highly presumptive because many molecular, natural and artificial will fluoresce in a similar way as semen. Also, not all semen stain will fluoresce. Exposure of different environments, different type of fabrics and different fabric treatments can affect the fluorescent activity. Prostate specific antigen. Test detect prostate specific antigen PSA. PSA is produced in high amount by male prostate gland. Precaution, this antigen can also be found in very small amount of fecal material and sweat. Studies also indicate that PSA can exist in female urine and breast milk. Caution is urged when interpreting positive PSA result which are not confirmed by actual presence of sperm. Confirmatory test. Christmas tree stain. Positive visual identification of sperm cell using a stain. Two main reagents are used consecutively to produce this distinctive stain. Picro-indigo carmine stain the neck and tail portion of the sperm in green and blue, while the nuclear fast red aka gives the sperm head a red color and the tip of head a pink color. Precaution, sperm cells deteriorate quickly after ejaculation. Sperm survival will depend on surrounding environment and type of surface. The sperm tails are the most susceptible to damage and will break down first. Therefore, the analyst must be trained to make visual distinction between sperm heads and other type of cells in the mix. Other cells will also stain red. RSID test for semen identifies the presence of the seminal vesicle. Specific antigen or seminogelin. This antigen is unique to human semen. Therefore, there is no cross reactivity with other bodily fluid in males and females or with semen from other mammals. This test can also identify semen even if the stain was stored in less favorable condition. Saliva. Now, the saliva is watery substance formed in the mouth of humans and animals secreted by the salivary gland. Human saliva comprises of 99.5% water plus electrolytes, mucus, white blood cells, epithelial cell which can be used to extract DNA, glycoproteins, enzymes such as amylase, antimicrobial agents such as secretory IgA and lysozyme. The enzyme found in saliva are essential in beginning the process of digestion of dietary starch and fats. These enzymes are also play a role in breaking down food particles entrapped within dental crevices, thus protecting teeth from bacterial decay. Saliva test can reveal certain disease markers, viral infection and the presence of therapeutic as well as illicit drug in the body. Presumptive test for saliva, Fedderbar's test. And what is the Fedderbar's test? A chemical reagent called Fedderbar's is used to detect the enzymatic activity of alpha amylase enzyme which is found in saliva. This enzyme is found in other organisms as well. In human, there are 4 variants of alpha amylase, 2 of which are found in saliva and other 2 are secreted by the pancreas. This test is presumptive because it will give a positive result if the alpha amylase enzyme from any organism is present. Confirmatory test, Fedderbar's test and RSID test for human saliva. The RSID test for human saliva detects the alpha amylase molecule itself and specifically the alpha amylase from human saliva in comparison to the testing of enzymatic activity as seen in Fedderbar's test. Performing both of these tests is considered a confirmatory test. Precautions, the RSID test has produced positive reaction in samples containing alpha amylases from mammals such as gorillas and rats. Positive reaction were also noted in other bodily fluids such as semen, blood, vaginal discharge, sweat and breast milk. High reactivity of this test is observed in samples containing human feces. Reactivity was also noticed in urine samples. Improper swabbing and other factors relating to personal hygiene, personal behavior and indirect saliva transfer from mouth to surface can result in false positives. Now the blood. Blood is a bodily fluid in humans and other animal that delivers necessary substances such as nutrients and oxygen to the cell and transports metabolic waste products away from those same cells. Blood is circulated around the body through the blood vessels by the pumping action of the heart. Blood performs many important functions within the body including supplying of oxygen to tissues bound to hemoglobin which is carried in red cells. It is composed of blood cells suspended in blood plasma. Plasma, which constitute 55% of blood fluid, is mostly water, 92% by volume and contains dissipated proteins, glucose, mineral, ions, hormones, carbon dioxide, plasma being the main medium for excretory products transportations and blood cells themselves. Blood consists of 7% of human body weight. The average adult has a blood volume of roughly 5 liters which is composed of plasma and several kinds of cell. These blood cells consist of erythrocytes, red blood cells, RBCs, leukocytes, white blood cells and thermocytes, that platelets. By volume, the red blood cell constitute about 45% of whole blood, the plasma about 54.3% and white cells about 0.7%. Species of origin test. The Autorchir-Loni test is used to determine if a blood sample is human or animal through the comparison of its reaction to specific antibodies. A sample of the unknown blood stain is placed in a agar gel. Antibodies from human and animal source of blood are placed in other wells in the gel. Antigen from the samples and the antibodies will spread out of their respective wells and will pair up to form an immune complex. If the antigen and antibody are from the same animal sources, the immune complexes can be observed as a line in the gel, thus indicating the source of blood. Precaution: a control sample consisting of a sample from the unstained area near a stained area of interest must be tested. It may take several hours, but up to 72 hours for the reaction to occur. This test requires expertise in interpretation. Now, the abiotyping identifies a person's blood type. Abiotyping requires a multi-step procedure in which the sample is observed reacting with anti-A, anti-B antibodies. Next, the liquid part of blood without cells, the serum, is mixed with blood that is known as to be type A or type B, and the reaction is observed. Precautions: appropriate negative control must be run as false positive are possible, especially with type B blood. Stains on denim fabric or soiled shoes may also yield false positives. Weak results may be read differently by analysts, so it is essential to have a second analyst read the results. Presumptive test. Phenolphthalein test, also known as Kastle-Meyer test. A phenolphthalein solution is used to show the possible presence of blood based upon a peroxidase reaction of hemoglobin which produces a pink color. Precaution: this test is presumptive because it has produced false positives from other substances such as saliva, pus, malt, extract, vegetable extract and the salt of certain heavy metals. A false positive reaction has also been observed with rust. Luminol test. Chemical compound known as luminol is used in solution or sprayed onto suspected surfaces. This compound gives a strong blue fluorescence. When viewed with UV light, the luminol reacts with hematine, a substance formed as blood stain age, and produces a luminescence which is best observed in the dark. The luminescence lasts for several minutes and can be photographed. Aged blood stains tend to give more intense and long lasting luminescence than fresh blood and can be re-sprayed with luminol to be viewed again. Precautions: false positive have been observed with the presence of copper salts. Most brass, bronze and similar alloys which contain copper gave a false positive reactions, which is important to consider when dealing with locks, door handles and other fixture made of these materials. Alternative light sources. Alternative light sources such as the crime scope use the ultraviolet, visible or infrared light to cause certain substance to fluoresce या glow or observe light darken. Blood stain will darken rather than glow when certain light wavelengths are used. See the user's manual for the alternative light source for the more information. Confirmatory test. Takayama test. In Takayama, through the application of specific solution developed by Takayama, hemochromogen crystals formed by treating a small amount of blood or a stain fragment. The crystals are observable under a microscope and look like salmon pink rhomboid crystal. This test does not require heating and can be used on older samples. Precaution: this test requires a relatively large amount of samples, 0.1 milligram hemoglobin. RSID test for human blood. This test uses two specialized antibodies to detect the presence of human glycophorin A, which is found in red blood cell membranes. The antibodies are applied to the suspected samples by using a strip test assay. At the end of the test, certain markings will indicate whether human blood was detected or if the test failed. Precaution: this test should be evaluated exactly 10 minutes after the addition of samples, and appropriate sample size and dilution of the sample must be used. Kits should be stored at room temperature and buffers should be stored at 5 degrees centigrade. ABA card, HEMA-TRACE test strips. HEMA-TRACE test strips are used to detect blood by identifying the presence of human hemoglobin. The test strip contains an anti-human hemoglobin antibody. A blood sample is applied to the bottom of the test strip. If human hemoglobin is present, then a mobile antibody antigen complex will be formed. This complex will then migrate through the test strip to a test window. This window will indicate if there is a positive result for human hemoglobin with a pink dye band. From the above, we can conclude that if we can perform experiment in a proper order, then we can get a better result for solving the criminal cases and will get the better results. Thank you.